This hospital was built in 10 days. Every modern machine you can imagine, cranes, bulldozers, steel beams. But this palace, built faster, no electricity, no steel, no engines. If you lost every machine today, you couldn't match what they built 1,000 years ago. Here's the crazy part. I can prove it. You think speed comes from better tools? You're wrong, dead wrong. In less than 20 minutes, I'll show you 5 secrets that will flip everything you know about building. Everything you think about speed, about to be challenged. What if speed has nothing to do with how fast your tools are? Sounds crazy, right? We're obsessed with faster everything. Faster computers, faster cars, faster machines. But here's what nobody tells you. The real speed formula isn't about tools. Speed equals how many people can work without fighting each other. Think about it. You have the fastest drill in the world, but 10 people fighting over it. You're slower than someone with a basic hammer who knows teamwork. Ancient engineers figured this out 1,000 years before us. While we obsessed over faster machines, they mastered something more powerful. Human coordination. The results? They moved mountains. Literally. They built structures still standing today, systems so good our modern methods look stupid. Ready for your mind to get blown? Let's start with a ridiculous question. Ever built something complex with Lego blocks? You know that click when pieces fit perfectly? That moment when everything just works. Now imagine building a real palace that way. 980 buildings, all fitting together like the world's biggest Lego set. That's exactly what they did. Here's why this matters. Most people think ancient building was slow. No machines, right? They picture workers stumbling around, making mistakes, starting over. Completely wrong. Miss this lesson and you'll never understand speed. They turned building into manufacturing. Every wooden beam was identical. Every bracket the same size. Every joint followed one pattern. You could take a piece from one building. It would fit perfectly in another building 1,000 miles away. This system is often explained through what historians call the modular standard. Think of it as the world's first instruction manual. But instead of pictures, they had real standardized parts. The true efficiency was in the distributed manufacturing. They carved thousands of pieces in forests hundreds of miles away, then numbered each piece. Shipped them to the capital. When pieces arrived, workers assembled them like a giant puzzle. No nails, no glue, just perfect shapes. This is where you see the real genius of the system. They moved one stone block weighing 123 tons over 70 kilometers in winter by sliding it on ice. That's heavier than roughly 80 cars stacked up. How many people do you think it took? Most engineers today would say 1,500 people, maybe more. Contemporary records suggest dozens of workers, not thousands, because they used ice instead of brute force. The secret? Ice. They waited for winter, flooded the road, turned friction into their friend. Instead of fighting physics, they used physics. This is a physics hack, the kind of thinking we forgot. Today's companies think they invented modular building, prefab everything, factory assembly. They're 600 years late. We didn't invent mass production. We forgot how to do it without machines. And here's the punch in the gut. Their system was more efficient than ours. No power tools meant no power failures. No complex machines meant no breakdowns. No computers meant no software crashes. Just smart humans solving physics problems. But wait. Building fast is useless if you can't move materials. That's where they broke physics itself. Picture this. You need to move 400,000 tons of grain across 1,100 miles. That's like moving every car in a major city across the entire country, every single year. No trucks, no trains, no engines. Impossible? If you tried to match this efficiency today, the fuel costs alone would bankrupt most companies. Get this wrong and people starve. Cities collapse, empires fall. The stakes couldn't be higher. Not only did they solve the problem, They created something so smart that modern engineers still study it. Before their invention, moving boats was a nightmare. You're trying to get a boat from low water to high water. What do? The old way was insane. They dragged boats over hills. Imagine pulling your car up a mountain with ropes. Every time you wanted to go higher, slow, dangerous, stupid. Then they invented the pound lock. Think elevator for boats. Here's how it works. You build a box between low water and high water. Boat enters the box. You fill the box with water from the high side. Boat rises. You open the gate. Gravity does everything. Water flows in, boat goes up. Water flows out, boat goes down. Gravity doing the work, no fuel, no engines. But the real breakthrough wasn't the lock itself, it was the synchronized deployment. They didn't build just one lock. They built 24 locks across 1,100 miles, each lock perfectly timed with the others. The result? A river that worked like a conveyor belt. Boats moving in perfect order, no traffic jams, no delays. They moved hundreds of thousands of tons of grain every year, the equivalent of thousands of modern truckloads, with zero fuel. Modern shipping companies use massive diesel engines for the same cargo. They burn thousands of gallons every day. The ancient system used pure physics. No fuel, no pollution, no energy costs. Their system was more efficient than ours. We think we're advanced because we're faster, but they moved more cargo per unit of energy than we do today. Let us understand the ancient canal logic. They didn't care about the speed of a single boat. They cared about continuous flow. By using the pound locks as valves in a giant hydraulic circuit, they created a 1,100-mile conveyor belt that never had to stop for fuel or maintenance. Now think about how a modern supply chain works. You rely on high-velocity trucks and planes. It's fast, but it's fragile. If the fuel price spikes or a single highway bottlenecks, the whole system stalls. When you analyze the data, the result is humbling. They achieved a level of 99% uptime over centuries. Most modern logistics hubs struggle to maintain that for a decade without massive energy subsidies. The breakthrough was better network architecture rather than better engines. Today, the most advanced automated warehouses are moving back to this exact principle. Small, standardized loads moving in a continuous, synchronized stream rather than large, erratic bursts. Ancient logic, modern optimization. But moving materials is only half the battle. You still need the tools to shape them. To understand how they built at scale, you have to look at how they mastered the fire itself. Imagine something from science fiction, a machine that never stops breathing, in and out, creating wind hot enough to melt metal. No electricity, no motors, just human power and smart engineering. Here's why this matters more than you think. To build big things, you need tools. To make tools, you need to melt iron. But normal fire isn't hot enough for iron. Most ancient people were stuck. They could make soft metals like copper. But iron was the holy grail. No iron tools meant no building at scale. This problem stumped engineers for centuries, until they figured out something revolutionary. They invented a machine that breathes like a human, but never gets tired. Double-action bellows. Here's the genius part. Normal bellows only push air when you press down. Their system pushed air on the downstroke and the upstroke. Air goes in on the push and the pull. The result? Constant airflow, constant heat, liquid iron. Once you have liquid iron, everything changes. You pour it into molds. You make identical tools every time. You mass-produce parts. They created one of the world's earliest continuous production systems, centuries before the Industrial Revolution. The results were mind-blowing. They built suspension bridges with iron chains, 137-meter spans, longer than a football field, held up by metal chains they made by hand. If you look at the timeline, the gap is staggering. The first major iron bridge in Europe didn't appear until the late 1700s. By that point, China and its neighbours had been maintaining iron chain suspension spans for nearly a millennium. We've been taught that the 1800s marked the birth of continuous manufacturing. But the logic of the assembly line was perfected 8 centuries earlier. Analyze the principles they were actually running. Assembly lines, standardized parts, quality control, continuous production. We've been conditioned to view these as modern breakthroughs, but they were standard operating procedures in the 10th century. It forces you to rethink the entire concept of progress. We often spend decades solving problems that were already optimized, calling it innovation, when it's actually industrial rediscovery. The takeaway is simple. We didn't necessarily invent a better way to build. We just found a more energy-intensive way. But even the most advanced tools are useless if your structural materials fail. Their next breakthrough challenges the modern assumption that concrete is a disposable material. They developed a formula that actually utilizes time to increase its strength. What if I told you they invented concrete that gets stronger over time, like a wall that heals its own cracks? You'd think I'm lying. But I'm about to show you proof that will break that belief. Here's every builder's problem. Concrete cracks, always. Weather changes, ground shifts, stress builds up, cracks appear. Once cracks start, they spread. Modern concrete starts breaking down immediately. 20 years later, major repairs. 50 years later, total replacement. But what if you could build something that got stronger with age? They figured this out with the weirdest ingredient ever. Rice, not just any rice, sticky rice, mixed with lime, creates something that breaks everything we know about building. Here's how crazy this is. Modern bulldozers can't knock down walls built 600 years ago. The walls are stronger now than when first built. This is not a joke. In the 2000s, scientists tested this ancient mortar against modern mixers. Adding about 1% sticky rice makes the mortar dramatically stronger than ordinary lime, and in some tests, competitive with modern materials. But here's the wild part. The rice creates tiny bridges between lime particles. Over time, these bridges multiply. The wall effectively grows stronger as minerals continue to form and lock the structure together over time. It's almost like concrete with a healing factor. Tiny cracks appear and the material's microstructure helps stop them from spreading. Stress builds up, but the structure keeps holding. These walls have survived centuries of earthquakes and weather that have destroyed many modern buildings around them. 600-year-old tech still doing its job today. Here's what bothers me. We had the formula. We knew how to make unbreakable concrete, and we threw it away. Why? Because Portland cement was easier, faster to mix, simpler to use. We traded lasting forever for convenience. Our concrete cracks after 20 years. Theirs gets stronger for centuries. This is the pattern everywhere in modern building. We build for short-term speed. Ignore long-term problems. Build fast and replace often instead of building once and building right. The ancient way was different. Build it once. Build it to last forever. Use materials that improve with age. Completely different thinking. And the results prove it. But these giant walls are useless if you can't talk to each other. The last secret we need to look at is how they sent messages across thousands of miles without any phones or wires. It was like the world's first high-speed internet, made of smoke and fire. Imagine sending a message 3,000 miles in less than 24 hours. No phones, no internet, no electricity, no satellites, just human smarts and physics. Here's the problem. You're defending a 3,000-mile border. Enemy attacks in the west. How do you tell the capital in the east before it's too late? This problem destroyed empires. By the time news reached the capital, the war was over. They solved it with something almost too simple to work. Smoke signals. But not just any smoke signals, engineered smoke signals. The secret ingredient? Wolf dung. Sounds gross, right? But wolf dung, mixed with other fuels, creates dense, dark smoke, designed to rise straight and stay visible over long distances, even in difficult conditions. They didn't stumble onto this. They tested different materials until they found the perfect formula. Different stuff for different weather. Different mixes for different visibility. This was science applied to communication. Here's how it worked. Towers every 30 miles. Each tower could see the next. One tower sends a signal. The next tower relays it. Then the next, then the next. Message relay across a continent faster than a horse could travel 100 miles. The result? 3,000-mile ping in under 24 hours. Let me put this in perspective. That's faster than some internet in rural areas today. We think fiber cables are the best communication tech ever, but this was a 1,000-year-old network that worked reliably enough that empires trusted it with their survival. No power needed, no maintenance costs, no system crashes. Just human intelligence applied to light and visibility physics. Their network used zero energy and lasted centuries. Our networks eat massive power and need constant upgrades. Is our progress that great? Or we could have gone a different, better route. What do you think? 5 innovations, 5 different problems. Look at the pattern again. Every solution used physics, not brute force. They moved massive stones by mastering friction. They moved boats using gravity. They melted iron with synchronized airflow. They built unbreakable walls with chemistry. They talked across continents with light. Here is the real lesson. We think we're faster today because we have big machines. But the reality is we just started relying on engines to do the work for us. It is not like we lost our intelligence. We just forgot how to use nature more critically. Ancient China was unique because they didn't try to fight against the world. They looked at things like winter ice, river heights, and the chemistry of food to find a cheat code for efficiency. They moved mountains with coordination. We move mountains with diesel fuel. One is a clever design, the other is just expensive. This isn't just a history lesson. As energy costs go up and resources get harder to find, these ancient strategies become our most valuable tools for the future. Here's my question for you. If the power grid died tomorrow, which system would you want to know? The Lego Palace system? The river conveyor belt? The breathing factory? The self-healing walls? Or the ancient internet? Drop your answer in the comments. If you're an engineer or maker, tell me which principle you could use in your work right now. Hit subscribe if you want to see more ancient inventions and construction wonders. We're just starting this journey of rediscovering lost wisdom and marvel. The future isn't about bigger machines, it's about smarter systems. And the smarter systems were figured out 1,000 years ago.